ahead and bake a cake. What the fuck is this? Alright, so what this is that this is everything you're gonna need for a Victoria sponge cake. You got 4 eggs, you got your self-raising flour, you got some good jam, got caster sugar, butter, you got cake tins, and here's the cream. I already whipped it. That's it. Let's move on. So normally you don't pre-whip the cream, but I did it because I felt like it. And you go put it there because right on, I guess. Oh, fucking. Okay, next what you do, right, is you take some of this butter, you just fucking get your hands right in there and you rub it in. It's really hard to do this one-handed. You rub it around and I'll fucking cut to it. Just you'll see. Alright, so you see how there's a button now? Now what you gotta do is you gotta just put flour in them. You can get your flour fucking everywhere and tell everyone off. And then you spread it around. And real talk, you do this, you put it in the freezer, get it all around all those edges, the excess you pour into that, and then you freeze it for like 5 minutes, and then your cake will not stick. And if your cake sticks, you fucked it up. I had nothing to do with it. Alright, moving on. So that's what it looks like. And then you take your freezer, where I've already got one of them in there, chilling, and you take your other one, chilling. I leave that there until you're ready to bake your cake. Speaking of, let's get to mixing this shit. About to impart a great wisdom onto you. To make any cake, what you do is you take your eggs, don't you roll away little shits, and you weigh the eggs. So here we have 244, I round up to 245, which is one gram no difference. But that's how much everything else needs to weigh. You got that? Alright, let's get to work. You put your bowl on the scales, and if you're proper, you've got a good bowl, but you know, you zero out the scales. I can't get a good, there you go. And then you just keep pouring that until that hits 245. And I've gone over, so you spoon some of that shit back in the bag. Like, I'm sorry BBC, we're gonna have to take a tax of your revenue. Okay, so now you see we're 245, it's 1 gram over, but as I said, that's not a big deal. So now we're gonna throw butter in there. Butter! Alright, so that's actually just... Oh, it's actually a little under. Fuck! Gotta add more butter. Let's just add that bit a little daintily in. You know what? Let's just roll with it. Right, so at this point I should mention you should preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Whatever that is in American. Now, you see this butter which is out of focus. God damn it. Okay, now we're in focus again. You see this butter, right? You gotta mix that into the sugar. Now you can use electric blender, you can use a spoon. Just get your fucking hand. My hands are clean, okay? Don't even worry about it. Just get them in there and keep mashing it around until it looks like this. Okay, ignore the background noise. We see that? That's the butter and the sugar beautifully mixed together. You can eat that if you're a fat fuck, and it's quite tasty because I'm a fat fuck and I know these things. But now you've got to mix in the eggs and oh boy. Alright, so we cracked our eggs, and what we're going to do is going to put one in, and the washing machine can go off like crazy. Thank you, washing machine. You get a whisk, and then you pop the yolk, and you start mashing this like crazy. And I'm not going to film this because I can't do this one-handed, I don't have that strength. But you basically just mash in all these eggs, okay? You just mash them in until it's all light and fluffy, and then you beat the fuck out of it. Add in another egg, pop the yolk, beat the fuck out of it. Like 90% of baking is beat the fuck out of it unless it's pastries, in which case you have to be very dainty because you don't want to activate the glutens. Now one of my eggs actually broke, that's fine, just chuck it all in. Wish I hadn't done this with the washing machine on. Anyway, as you can see, my eggs are quite light and fluffy, but they've also split slightly from the butter. This is fine. You take a sprinkle of your flour and you mix that in, and shit will be fantastic. There it is, looking a little bit smoother, but not highly there. Now you see this? This time we add the last ingredient. Self-raising, don't fucking buy Waitrose, it's shit, but whatever, it's all we have. You just chuck that in until you reach your desired amount. Do you see the simplicity of this recipe? But when I'm out, stick to it. Oh, we're getting close now. Perfect. Oh. Close enough. Now we built a ton of air into this cake. That's going to make it taste nice. So what the hell is on my spatula? Hang on, I'm going to fucking wash the spatula. Okay, spatula is now clean. So, okay, again, we've got added a lot of air into this cake and we don't want to break it up. So what you want to do is fold in your flour. Don't be too delicate about it, just mix it in gently. Don't over mix it because otherwise the cake will start to get tough. Now if you don't want to do all of this, you can literally just chuck all these ingredients once you weigh them out into a bowl and use electric mixer, but this way tastes better. Just trust me, man, just trust me. See that? Do you see how nice and thick that is? That's how a cake batter should be. In old-fashioned recipes, that's how cake batter was. Wasn't some runny shit, you know? Anyway, you now put this in the mold, let's get those out. Now you want to evenly divide this into this. So you take this and you fucking throw it over there. Take your batter in one hand like a clumsy idiot because you're holding a camera. You spoon it in. And then you pause and do it without the camera on so you can actually do it properly. Look at that. See how nice it is? And also notice how it's not even sticking to the side of the pans. That's the flour in the butter. Now that's going to melt a bit, but it's going to also give you a really nice extra crust. So what to do now? Well, you can just eat them. I mean, tastes pretty good. Can't go bad about that. You might have noticed I didn't add vanilla. I don't do that shit. So to cook these, you put them in the preheated oven, which you preheated for about 30 minutes. You check on it. After 20, with a little toothpick, you put it in the centre, and if it's gooey, it ain't done. But if it isn't gooey, you take that shit out, son. And then you let it cool. And then you just clean up your mess. Maybe. It's been 20 minutes. It's time to test the cake. Now, we're fucking weird, because our oven's outside. I don't fucking know why. Anyway, gonna test the cake now. I've tested these cakes and you can tell because they have holes in them and they are done. So let's take this out. So now what you gotta do is you let them cool in the tins for about 5 minutes, which I've done. And then you tip them out. And you'll see, hopefully, because I floured and buttered them, it will work. I mean, my luck notwithstanding. Yeah, they came out perfectly, but unfortunately, because I'm a fucking dolt, I've managed to burn this cake. It's cool that what you do is you just take a knife and you scrape it, which I'll demonstrate, I guess. You just take a knife and you just keep scraping until you get rid of the dark bits, or the super dark bits. Point is, it's all fixable. I swear, I'm good at baking. I swear. Alright, so there you see I've scraped off the dark stuff and flipped the cake over, and now comes the hardest part. You just gotta wait for it to chill. You can't put it in the fridge. That's cheating. Can't do that. What you can do is, if you have a cold room like this fucking house has, drop your knife on the floor and you put them in the cold room with the cream. Where's the cream next to the sun cream and the beer? Who does? Amount of time has passed and these are now cool. Nice and cool. So this is the slightly burnt half because this half is nicer looking, generally. I've just put that on a plate. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to smother it with jam. Now do not be scant with your jam. You've got to be generous. See, you might think, oh, that's plenty. No. No, you got this is so fucking difficult to do one hand. Why am I making this video? Everyone's gonna hate it anyway, whatever. Doing it. Want at least that much jam. You spread it out and you judge if it's enough. I'll let you know if I add more. Now you see, this might look like enough jam, but for my tastes, it just isn't. So we're gonna get one more nice little bit. Spread it out a bit more. And it's actually better to not go to the edges, but whoops. And there you go. And you want the nice seed jam. So you want that nice little touch. Then you just throw cream on it. There's the cream. Now if I see any of you fuckers using whipped cream out of a can, I'll murder you. That's how your cream should be. You just chuck it all on. Now that might look like a little cream, but you have to remember this cake was a Victoria sponge cake, as in Queen Victoria. And let's be real here, that she wasn't a dainty lady. So just chuck it all on and smooth it out. And now here's a good trick for neatening out these sorts of things. In here I have a knife, not a spoon, and boiling water. And as you can see, it helps with the smoothing out process because it melts through it. And what you want to do is you want to make this as even as possible, okay? Because the whole point of it is that it sits proud with that cake on top and nice and straight. So I'm just going to get to straightening that out. Good. Now if you're super worried about it, you shouldn't get jam or crumbs in it, but it doesn't matter because it's going to get covered up by the other half cake. So just very carefully pick that up and place it just so. And I recommend you use 2 hands for this because I've just done this so many times. And then look at that. That looks goofy, but it will taste delicious. Trust me. You just squish it down gently. And you go back around the edges with a knife and you clean that up. Yeah, we're getting there. This last step is entirely optional, but it does make it look nice. You take the icing sugar, right, BBC, it's just icing sugar. Just give it a light dusting over the top. And there you have it. It's one hell of a cake. Now I'm gonna be honest, this is not the nicest looking cake I've ever made, but it smells good and I'm sure it'll taste good. But now I've got to wait until I can give this to everyone. And I'm not going to film when we eat it. Good video!